In this video, I'm going to show you a very cool trick that I came up with called the fraction subtraction method. Now, what this allows you to do is to answer questions like these in your head in just 5 seconds. Now, okay, that first one might not look so scary, but how about that third one, or even the fourth one? Imagine doing that in your head in 3 or 4 seconds. Well, at the end of this video, you'll be able to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at an easy question first, and I'll show you how the fraction subtraction method works. Right, so if we look at this question here, 1 take away 7/10. Now you may know what the answer is, or maybe you don't, but let's see the hard way to do this first. Now the hard way is to say, okay, we're subtracting fractions, let's find the lowest common denominator. Now we can make that 1 into 1 over 1, because 1 over 1 is 1. So let's get the same common denominator. So I would say, well, 1 over 1 is the same as 10 over 10. So I've really got 10/10, take away 7/10. And that's actually straightforward, it's just 3/10. Now that's not too bad, but imagine doing that same method on this question here, 943 take away 117, 119. I have no idea what the common denominator on there is, but it's going to be something nasty. So we're not going to use this method, we're going to use the fraction subtraction trick. So let's see the steps of the fraction subtraction trick. So we'll go back to that easy question and I'll just show you how it works. So step number 1 is we keep the same denominator. So we know that we're dealing with tenths here, so I'm going to keep 10 as my denominator. Step number 2 is we simply subtract the numerator from the denominator. So 10 take away 7 gives me 3, and that answer to step 2 becomes our numerator. So our answer is simply 3 over 10. Pretty straightforward, huh? Let's go through them again with another example. So example number 2 here. Solve 1 take away 92/97. Okay, so step number 1 is we keep the same denominator, so 97 goes on the bottom there. And step number 2 is we subtract the numerator from the denominator. So I'm going to subtract 92 away from 97, which gives me 5. And that becomes my numerator. So my answer here is simply 5 over 97. So how do we apply the fraction subtraction trick to whole numbers that are larger than 1? Like for example, this one here. So I've got solve 5 take away 8/10. So instead of having that 1 there, I've got a 5 there now. And there's just one extra step to do. So this is what we do. Step 1, we keep the same denominator, no problem. So we know we're dealing with tenths. We do the same step number 2, we subtract the numerator from the denominator. So 10 take away 8 gives me 2. That 2 becomes my numerator. So it's exactly the same as before, but now we have one final extra step to deal with this 5. So all we do now is we subtract 1 away from the whole number. So 5 take away 1 gives me 4, and we place that in front of our fraction. So our answer is going to be 4 2/10, or 4 1/5. If you want to reduce that further. Okay, so why does step 4 work? Why does taking 1 away from that whole number work? Well, if we have a look at our original question, which is 5 take away 8/10, we could rewrite that if we wanted to as 4 plus 1 take away 8/10, because 5 is 4 plus 1. Now I could put that bracket, those brackets around the 1 take away 8/10 if I wanted to. It doesn't change anything. So it's the same question saying 4 plus 1 take away 8/10. Now we know how to deal with 1 minus 8/10 using our method previously. That's going to give me 2/10. So I've got 4 plus 2/10, and that's why that method works. Let's do a quick summary of the 4 steps needed. Step number 1, we keep the same denominator, nice and straightforward. Step number 2, subtract the numerator from the denominator, and the answer to that becomes our numerator. And then the final step is to subtract 1 away from the whole number, and the answer to that we just put in front of our fraction. Alright, let's apply this to some questions then. How about that nasty one that we mentioned at the beginning? So have a go at this now. See if you can answer this question. If you can, try and do it in your head. Okay, so you may want to pause the video here, give this a try, and then I will go through the answers in a few seconds. Welcome back. So let's see how you did on these 2 questions in the quiz. Now the first question looks nasty, but remember the 4 steps, it's nice and straightforward. So step number 1 is we're keeping the same denominator. We're keeping the 119 on the bottom. Step number 2, take away the numerator from the denominator. That's 119, take away 117, which gives us 2. Step number 3, place that as our new numerator. So we know we got 2 over 119. So step number 4, subtract 1 from that whole number. So 943 take away 1 gives me 942. And we're going to place that right in front of our fraction. So our answer is 942 and 2 119ths. Alright, so now let's take a look at this word problem. So here we have a carpenter. He has a plank of wood 93 inches long, and he's cutting up a piece which is 8 13/16 inches long. We want to know how much wood remains. So what we're really doing here is we're doing 93 take away 8 13/16 of an inch. Now remember from our section on subtracting fractions, if you've got a mixed number, you take away the whole parts first. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take away 8 away from 93, and when we do that we get 85. Then we're going to take away the fractional part, which is the 13/16. So this question is actually the same thing as writing 85 take away 13/16. And now we know how to do that. So let's apply our steps to it. We are going to keep the same denominator, so we know we've got something over 16 there. Then we're going to subtract the numerator from the denominator, so 16 take away 13 gives me 3. That becomes the new numerator. So I know my answer has 3/16 in it somewhere. And the last step is to take 1 away from the 85, which will get us to 84. We place that in front of the number, and that is our mixed number answer. So 84 and 3/16 is our answer. Hopefully you found this useful. It's a nice little trick. When you get used to it, you'll be able to do this in your head in 5 seconds for any of these type of questions. So give this a little bit of practice, and I think you'll find it just as easy as I do. My name is Dr. Stuart Donnelly, and thank you for watching.